I thought today I would show you my parents' backyard garden because it is just so beautiful this time of year. Actually, if I could have gotten out here about 3 weeks earlier, you would see a lot more blooms, but it's still a really beautiful garden that I thought would be fun to walk through today. So over here on the left, we're looking at a sago palm that they've had. Now they've been in this house over 15 years. It's zone 9B in Texas between Houston and Galveston. So a lot of sunshine, a lot of humidity, and a lot of plants that love those conditions. So they have the sago palm there on the corner, and you're gonna see in their garden they have a lot of nice, really foundational plants that take up a lot of space on corners. So I really like that about their garden. So over on the side yard, coming around from the side yard, you will see an oleander, and these oleanders are super common going more south you go towards Galveston. Right now this one's not in bloom. There is one pink bloom you can see over there on the left, but even just the foliage I think is so beautiful. And it's really, really big, so it provides a lot of privacy. Now, coming around, we're looking at hummingbird bushes. Yeah, I said bushes because they have quite a few that you're gonna see in their backyard. I just bought some of these for my yard, but I bought the compact variety that only gets about 3 or 4 feet tall and wide. But these here get like 6 feet tall and wide. So one plant fills up a lot of space. It's a good bang for your buck plant, in my opinion. Their fence is 6 feet tall, and the hummingbird bushes go even higher than that. They have these beautiful little orange blooms, and it just provides a nice backdrop to their garden. There's a lot of these little garden creatures sprinkled throughout. I think they're so cute, so whimsical, and just add a little bit of fun to the garden, hidden in little nooks and crannies that we'll see throughout. Now what's really neat is that their neighbor to the left actually has beautiful palm trees in their backyard, and they tower over the fence really high so that you can see them. And there they are on the left, and they really show out really well, of course from the neighbor's side, but also from my parents' side. I think it really gives that tropical lush landscape. There in the center, you're seeing a crepe myrtle. It's the Tuscarora crepe myrtle with those dark pink flowers. They're not in full bloom anymore. Like I said, if I had made it out here maybe 3 weeks ago, everything would have been popping. But for right now, the crepe myrtles have pretty much gone to sleep in their backyard. So as we come around, you can see on the left there are 2 or 3 actually more crepe myrtles beyond the fence, and usually those are white. I think those are the Natchez, if I'm saying that right, variety. Beautiful when they're in full bloom, still beautiful now. Over here on the left side, you're just gonna see more of the hummingbird bushes. There's some grasses, there's a little duck statue and some pottery there. All of it together just works really well to create this lush and full landscape. Now back on the left there are canna lilies, and they are like a tropical bright orange color. These guys, they started off with maybe just 2 or 3 canna lilies that they planted, and they have completely taken over this corner and they've surrounded another crepe myrtle. So they look really, really beautiful back in here, providing privacy and also providing a lot of interest with the leaves, the shape of the leaves and that upright nature that they have. Now back here on the back wall, they put these sunshine ligustrums in. And those are those yellow, bright yellow bushes. We'll get a little bit closer here in a second. But in the center, they have islands of pine trees. Islands of pine trees. I think they have 4 of them in the backyard. They have been here for a minute, as you can see how tall they are. But I really love how in their backyard they have a lot of structural plants, a lot of vertical structure, and so it just provides interest all throughout their yard. And we have some more, they're little garden creatures. These are turtles, and the way that they have them stationed here, it's like it's leading you to go further in the garden, and so we'll do that together here. Over on the left, you're going to see a Chinese snowball bush. So on the far left, that is a nandina behind the duck, I believe. But next to that on the right, to the right of the duck, is a Chinese snowball bush that I gave them earlier this year. It has put on a ton of growth since it first got in the ground, and it's really loving its full sun location. This is a full sun backyard, so these plants are really standing up to the heat and thriving. The yellow bushes, aka the sunshine ligustrum, are framing that beautiful crepe myrtle on the left. My parents have planted quite a few crepe myrtles in the backyard, but some of the ones that are back here are actually volunteers. So just, seeds that got spread and had a favorable location and plopped up a new tree. And so those have just been allowed to grow as they will, because obviously they found spots that they prefer, and so they've just kind of gone with it, and it's worked out really well. I'm not sure what all of these bushes are behind that blue lizard on the left. I want to say nandina, but I could be wrong on that. And then back in the corner, like a sister or like a twin to the other corner, so this matches, we have more canna lilies, same variety, but these actually came from the neighbor's backyard. So their neighbor to the right has these same plants, and they just went through the fence and over to my parents' side, and they are loving their life right there. There's some grasses over there on the left, and then this last row is pretty much crepe myrtle alley. So there are crepe myrtles all along this area here. Here's one, another Tuscarora. I want to say this one's self-seeded, not sure on that, right there by the bunny. And then these shrubs here in the center, so the one more toward the foreground, that's going to be a Little John bottle brush, which I really love for the texture. I mean, it looks like you could clean out a baby's bottle or a bottle of some type, but what's behind it, that I'm not sure. But beautiful foliage regardless. And then we have this beautiful tree in the center, and I'm not certain on the variety of that, but I do like the multi-trunk nature of it for sure. Then over on the left, we see more of the hummingbird bush. These plants are so beautiful. Now, when they're thirsty, they can droop a bit, but once they get the water they want, they're back in business. More crepe myrtles, and then it's alternating hummingbird bushes and crepe myrtles. So it's providing a real sense of coziness and privacy over this side. And when these are blooming, they're so beautiful pink from the upstairs window that you can see. But it's just providing kind of this sense of intimacy over on the right side of their garden. So as we're coming around here, we'll head back towards where we began. You'll see some artwork that they have on their brick wall, just a yellow metal sun. They have a nice mixture of artwork and statues and fountains, vertical interest, different evergreen interest. I feel like they just hit all the points on what makes a garden look really interesting year round. They've hit those points really well. Over here on the left, I want to say that this is a mixture of nandina and azaleas. So more toward the front of the bed, nandina, more toward the back of the bed, azalea. Not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure. My dad's a pretty big fan of azalea, and when they're blooming, they're really this beautiful, vibrant pink color. And then that brings us back to the patio. So here on the patio, there's a lot of different pots encircling the patio and really making it kind of its own little hangout spot. We're going to see the plumeria there on the right, and we're coming up here on some succulents. So my mom really likes her succulents and her cacti, and the really great thing is none of these containers are hooked up to drip. They get watered occasionally, but really it's just whatever rain God sends that they get, that's how they get watered. We have aloe vera. You can see this gets used for medicinal purposes. And then we have more cacti here. And then as we come around, we'll see a whole pot of more aloe vera, and this one's actually blooming. The blooms are starting to fade out, but still very pretty. And then we have a faux boxwood, a fountain. So there's nice background sound. Not right now because it's off, but when it's on, it's very relaxing. You can trust me on that. I'm not sure what's in that pot. But here we are back around at the sago, which is where we began. And so there's a plumeria, so that we had two plumerias on both corners of the porch. And then right up here in the front, you're going to see a couple more containers of the cacti, which are so easy to start new containers on. You just break off a portion, stick it in dirt, water it, and it's good to go. So two different varieties of cacti up here. And then we will finish with the patio by looking at a rose. So this is a shrub rose that is in this container here, and it was in bloom. I want to say the blooms were yellowish, if I recall. I haven't seen the blooms in a while, but it does bloom. And then there's another plumeria over on the other end. So the really great thing about their backyard, they have a lot of symmetry, but it's not super formal. I'd call it like a mid-range formal, where there's order, but there's also like a carefreeness to it. And then finally, there's this center island. In the center of the center island are knockout roses, which are typically red, and they're framed by those sunshine ligustrum in that bright yellow highlighter color. So that's their garden. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at it today. It's one of my favorite backyards to sit in. I mean, the plants, the shrubs, even the grass, everything is just so beautifully maintained and so nice and so mature, and I hope you enjoyed looking at it with me today. I'll leave you with the rest of this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.